Considered it.
Oh,
Hit the
okay.
exit button.
Okay.
Stop AI companion. Please, thank you. Yes.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. This is the Traffic and Transportation Committee. Today is December 18th, 2025. I'm happy that this is our last meeting for the year and hopeful for 2026. And present on our committee, we do have somebody that has ADA and she's allowed to be online. And she's not here, but she's here online. My name is Debbie Allen. I'm the Traffic and Transportation Chair, and I'll have each one of the committee members to introduce themselves.
Deborah Harris.
Bob Bender.
Sylvia Alexander.
And now we will do roll call. Deborah Allen, present.
Deborah Harris, present.
Bob Bender here.
Sylvia Alexander here.
Okay, excellent. Is there any questions about the November 20th, 2025 minutes?
I don't have any questions.
No.
Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. The second.
Yes, second.
Excellent. By the show of hands, everybody approves for the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Okay. The motion has been moved and passed. Okay, so we're going next on the agenda is a discussion on DDC West 254th Street, Northwest Bronx School Safety Project, and the property acquisition meeting that was held yesterday. I'm hopeful that most of the committee was able to attend that meeting yesterday. I was there and I was there also with the homeowners, to say the least that they have some real legitimate concerns. And the concern, firstly, that I think as a committee we need to really vote on is the issue with they have a request of having only one sidewalk and having the other section not to have a sidewalk there for the following reasons. Firstly, it would decrease the amount of trees that would be removed, which is an issue because 254th Street, as we know, is a special natural area in terms of trees and making sure that Riverdale, that particular area, continues to be part of SNAD. One thing about removal of these trees will definitely impact the area in terms of what it feels like, what it looks like, in terms of quality of life for the families that are living on that 254th Street. And there's also concerns with flooding that may occur as a result of the trees being removed, and also basic things like shade during the summer, how that impacts the quality of life of people just walking up and down the street. And they're also concerned about the street becoming narrow by there being sidewalks on both sides, and eventually they're concerned that eventually they may do a study and then say, you know what, we made a mistake and now it needs to be a one-way. The families on this particular part of our community have graciously presented different solutions. They've graciously have interfaced with different community liaisons, and they really haven't received any appropriate response. The only responses they have received is basically, this is a capital project that is designed to make it safer, and there really hasn't been a real consideration of any alternatives for the people that are living there on 254th Street. There hasn't been an in-depth response in terms of different aspects of ADA. They claim that they're doing this to make it ADA compliant. But as you know, 254th Street, it's like a ski slope. The slope is not something that's gradual. It's something that's almost in a 90-degree angle. And even putting a sidewalk is never going to change the safety in terms of that slope for anybody in a wheelchair, anybody on a walker, anybody that's using even a baby stroller. You're still going to have a level of not lack of safety. If anyone can present to me that there isn't a slope and that a person in a wheelchair could safely manage down that hill, I really wanted them to present that information to me, and they were not able to. The response was that I need to clarify what we're really looking for. So it's either it is completely ADA or it isn't. Having a sidewalk that has a red paint at the corner, to me, doesn't specify as being ADA. Also, we've requested other things that they're still stating that they won't be able to present anything to us until they are well into the construction phase. I feel that based on what I heard in testimony last night, what I've been getting in written response from different people that live on 254th Street, I feel that the committee should consider and put into writing in a resolution that there should be only one sidewalk on 254th Street and not sidewalks on both sides. And having sidewalk on one side will still be providing the children with safety for them to get on and off the bus. But I think we need to be able to meet homeowners in a middle ground. The pictures that they supplied us last night in terms of what they wanted to do in terms of removing people's property, I didn't find that they were really able to even answer basic questions to the homeowners that were there. So I'm putting into a motion that the Traffic and Transportation Committee is representing what the community needs are for 254th Street, and that there should be one sidewalk.
So, I'm sorry, so you're making a motion?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Any questions?
No, I mean, I looked at some of the information that they sent, and it's kind of messy. It's really hard for me to follow, so I know that really has nothing to do with directly with the motion, but it just seemed kind of rushed. This information is rushed.
I would want to specify where the sidewalk should be. The position of the community board has long been that it should be on the north side
Correct.
of 254th Street, because it would involve taking down fewer stone walls on the south side that the homeowners have set up many, many years ago. So I'm in favor of the resolution, but I would also want to specify which side of the street should have the sidewalk, and it should be the north
The
side.
north side.
Yeah, which is a side that has SAR, for example. But yes, I'm certainly in favor of that. I think, unless I misunderstood, because like you, Debbie, I was completely flummoxed by the idea of ADA accessibility on that street, which is impossible. I think what DOT means by accessibility when they use that phrase is just north-south, in other words, across to 54th Street. There's no way in which that enormous slope could possibly be made ADA accessible. Now, how significant that is, for the north-south crossing at the intersections to be accessible, I don't know. I mean, it seems to me that right now they're probably accessible. But but going down the hill, no, that's impossible.
It's impossible.
Yeah, it can't be done.
Sylvia, do you have any feedback, anything you want to express?
Well, unfortunately, I was not at the meeting last night, but I do recall that in previous discussions about this, the one side sidewalk was accepted by many of the people that were living on 254th Street. So if you're going back to that, I'm all for the resolution.
Thank you.
Mhm.
So all those in favor of the resolution of sidewalk on the northbound side,
Mhm.
please by raising your hand. Sylvia, you're for it?
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you. The resolution passes. So I will have a formal written resolution to present to the full board at the next full board meeting in January. No, December.
December?
No, January.
No, it's going to be January.
January.
Yeah.
I was like, another?
Okay. Okay. Next on the agenda is MTA. Thank you, Mr. Flynn, for attending.
Hello,
We missed you at the
everyone.
last meeting.
Yes, I'm here today.
So, I know Monday we're supposed to be having a walkthrough.
Yes,
It's-
Monday at 11 a.m. We're gonna have a walkthrough to look at the bus stop issues along West 261st Street and Broadway.
Yes.
Also understand that DOT is gonna install e-bike corral there as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was,
Mhm.
yeah, possibly, yes.
Okay.
So that's December 22nd at 11 a.m. at 261st Street and Broadway.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, I will be there.
Okay.
I invite any committee members if they're available this Monday, if they can attend,
I'm sorry, what's the timing again, Debbie?
at 11 a.m.
11 a.m. Okay. I'll try to make it.
So Deborah had more specifics about 261st Street and the buses, so I'm gonna let Ms. Harris take over from there.
Okay, hello. So with the e-bikes though, that's going to be on the north side, right?
Mhm.
And the focus really is a little further past where the e-bikes are going to be installed and the first stop on the southbound side. So it's really, like, I don't know, it may have some impact if you're thinking about how to rectify the issue where they're gonna install the bikes, because then that area will not be an option. But a couple of things. So when I took the BXM, I think it's the 3, which is the express bus that also shares that bus stop, is so many mixed messages because the sign is at the corner, right? But you have to I had to step into the street to actually wave him down like it's like a taxi kind of scenario. When I entered the bus, I asked him, okay, so what is the best way for me to get to, for you to know that I'm waiting for this particular bus? So he said I should wait at the other corner, which is not the bus stop. So I never do that because then I'm afraid that they won't see me at all.
So what's the bus stop specifically? Do you know that?
The station stop is 261st Street and Broadway.
In Broadway.
So that is a busy bus stop for multiple buses. It's the BX9, that BXM, I think it's the 3 or the 4, and it's a location where the Westchester bus is a drop off only.
Mhm.
So at any given time, there could be 4 buses just in that space, that one little corner at the same time.
Plus bus drivers taking a break.
plus bus drivers taking a break. But the initial reason why I had brought this up to begin with was the lack of any kind of traffic direction, no stop sign, no yield sign, and no traffic light in that hub. So on Monday, you'll see what I'm expressing, so that way, like you don't have to kind of try to paint, I don't have to paint the picture. You'll
Mhm.
see it in person, and hopefully while we're there, you will also see a BX9 drop off, spin around, double park, an express bus come, and two Westchester buses drop off only.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then another thing to consider, if the e-bikes, when the e-bikes are there, that is also going to increase more activity in the area, because they have to, unlock the bike, start pedaling, and it's just really a lot of moving parts.
Okay. So once we are on site on Monday, I can make a recommendation to DOT about whether that's a good location for the e-bikes. Because I have contact with with the team that does that. So that could be something we could look at as well.
Okay. So we're excited that we'll be able to do that this Monday, so,
Could I add one thing?
sure.
11 a.m. is not the ideal time to test how complicated this can be, because of course 11 a.m. is not rush hour, morning or evening rush hour. The real problem comes during the rush hour in the morning and in the evening, and that's when you see the buses are running on a more frequent schedule, and there's more crowding at that stop. I mean, you'll be there, you'll see everything. But there's a difference between seeing it in the middle of the day and seeing it during one of the morning or evening rush hours. That's all.
Is there a certain amount of time that you have allotted for this on-site visit?
So it's up to you folks. I'll be there as long as I have to be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it possible to get there a little earlier or no?
Um, I can look at my schedule and we can coordinate offline if I can get there
Okay,
earlier.
okay. Sylvia, do you have anything?
No, it just occurs to me that I don't know exactly where you guys are talking about the 261st Street bus situation, but I think you should keep in mind that the Van Cortlandt Motel is going to be a elementary school, and that's about 254th Street. So I appreciate it if you would keep that in mind when you're moving things around.
So they're converting the motel to a school.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yes.
Do you know when that's happening?
okay.
I mean, do you know when they're converting it to a school? Do you know when the school's opening?
Oh, according to School Construction Authority in 2029.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But when you make a change, it's pretty much permanent. So
Yeah,
I
you're
just bring
correct.
it up as something in the back of your mind.
Thank you for doing that. And I'll do my research to see what school is being converted there, and I'll try to reach out to see whether they have a real estate team so we can also coordinate. Because
Okay,
usually when there's a school, they actually request extra service. And if it's a charter school, they usually start with kindergarten, first grade, and second grade, and they add a grade each year till they get to sixth or 12th grade.
right.
That might add additional need for additional service in that area. But I'll research that and I'll provide a follow-up.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want us to continue to talk about the express buses or do you wanna? Because I know another concern was the cancellation of express buses. The MX3 express bus, the BXM1 and the BXM2, and I think the response was it was staffing, correct?
Yeah, it's due to driver availability. Drivers get sick, drivers call out, drivers go on PTO. We try to run as much service as possible when that happens. But this is largely due to driver availability, and And it's not just an issue in the Bronx, it's an issue in Queens, it's an issue all over New York City when it comes to bus drivers. We're actually hiring over 1,000 bus drivers and train conductors. So if you know someone, have them apply to join our forces.
How much leeway time do they have a schedule and they already know ahead of time that that they're gonna have a staffing problem, or it's on a day-to-day situation?
It's just like any job. They could call out sick that morning, that afternoon. If it's vacation, we can plan accordingly. But when it comes to drivers not feeling well or calling out sick, that's something that's out of our control. It can happen same day.
Okay. All right, we have some community people that have questions. Any committee members have any questions? Or,
I'm done.
Mhm.
uh,
No.
I believe Brett Costello had his hand up first.
Mhm.
Brett?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you,
Yes.
Brett.
Hi, sorry, I am outside, so it might be a little bit noisy. Hopefully you can hear me. I had a question about the e-bike corral. That's City Bike?
So the e-bikes are run through DOT. So they could be city bikes, they could be Lime bikes. That's more of
The
a
city.
DOT question.
They're city bikes.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I also wanted to add that I would be, I hope that there can be an e-bike corral there because that's what's closest to Yonkers. Yonkers doesn't really have anything equivalent for that. And if people are trying to get into the city and do something from Yonkers, they don't have to rely on a car or public transportation. There would be something that if it's installed there, I would be very happy for the people of Yonkers if they had that available.
Yeah, I'll be happy to. I want to see that.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. Anything else, Brett?
That'll be it. Thank you.
Okay. Diane?
Yeah, hi, I'm Diane Brooke Brown. I'm a regular rider of the BXM1 and BXM2. I understand that there are staffing issues over which you have virtually no control, and the cancellations happen. My biggest issue is the lack of notice, the lack of alerts, the lack of information. The GPS does not function. I happen to have had a particularly ridiculous experience 2 weeks ago, Wednesday, coming back from the theater at 9 o'clock in the evening, and I had hoped to be able to make the BXM1. I thought it was going to be tight. I missed it by one traffic light, but I figured, okay, I'm right near Madison. I can run over to Madison and catch it at Madison and 80th. I walked over to Madison and 80th. The GPS showed that it was on its way. It never showed up. Ran back to 3rd Avenue, waited 45 minutes, and I'm 79 years old, back and forth at 9:30 at night for buses that never showed up, with no information on the GPS, no alerts. I've signed up for alerts. I receive them, every morning, sometimes in the evening, but no information whatsoever. And, in these situations that, are unpredictable, it's even more important that the GPS function properly and that the dispatchers or whoever it is that provides that information communicate, particularly for those of us who rely on the bus in the evening to go to the theater, to go to Lincoln Center, whatever. And my experience is that the 9 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock, 10:30 buses are particularly unpredictable, unreliable, and there is no information.
Okay. And what were those times again? I'm sorry. 9 o'clock?
Basically anything after 8:30.
Okay.
That night, it was between 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock, no buses on either the 1 or the 2.
Okay. And when you say GPS, are you using the MTA official app?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I just need to know how I address my concern to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
higher ups to make
No,
sure they adjust it.
and I know that if I see the buses en route, I know it's going to show up. But
Mhm.
if there's nothing showing, I don't know if it's going to show up or not. Maybe there's something with the GPS. Sometimes the dispatcher forgets to turn it on. It's in the transfers in the park, whatever. I know that there are times when the GPS, when there is no GPS information. And I don't know if that means there's no bus or there's just no GPS.
That's some great feedback. I'm taking notes and I'll relay this information to our road ops team so they can look into it.
Yeah.
But that should not be happening, but I'll definitely look into it and I'll follow up with this community board.
I should say it's chronic. This one a couple of weeks ago happened to be particularly outrageous. But I know that in the evenings and on the weekends, frankly, the GPS is not reliable and there is very often no information about cancellations. But this is chronic. This is not something new.
Okay.
Bob?
Yeah, I just, Diane's story seems very familiar to me. I've had exactly the same experience, 8:30, 9 o'clock in the evening, where the MTA app shows that there's a bus and the bus just doesn't come. And I understand this happens. I understand, as you said, Mr. Flynn, that sometimes the driver is sick and, there's a gap in the schedule. But if we just had the information, fortunately, if you're talking about Manhattan, there are various transportation options. But it's silly to be standing in a bus stop waiting for a bus that's not going to arrive when, maybe you just have to walk 2 or 3 blocks in a certain direction to get on the subway. So it is a real problem. I don't often take an express bus between Manhattan and Riverdale. But I have found that once you get outside of rush hour, the chance of the bus not showing up increases.
Just as a minor anecdote, several years ago when the new equipment was brought online, I was waiting for the bus at 34th Street one evening, and a journalist happened to be standing there and he asked me what I thought about the new design. And I said, honestly, I don't care. I just want the bus to show up. That's what I care about. Well, I've got comments about the design, but I want the bus to show up or tell me that it's not going to, so that I can take advantage of whatever options I might have. But with no information, we're just, standing there in the cold waiting. Yeah.
And Jonathan, most of the frustration I got with the BXM3 was people going to work.
Mm.
And they live in the Kingsbridge area. And it just doesn't, there's a gap. It doesn't show up. Yeah, or it's canceled and they don't realize it.
I have a question. I know that you said that it's usually based on, someone calling out sick and staffing, but does ridership have anything to do with the quality of who's assigned to these particular buses?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions from MTA?
No, that's all from me.
That's it. Anybody online? No? Okay. All right, Jonathan, thank you so much. And
Before we go, I just want you to know that, as you all should know and do know, the MetroCard is going out. Is being phased out at the end of the year. Omni is the way of the future. Tap and ride. So make sure you switch over to Omni before the end of the year so you enjoy all the benefits of Omni.
So is there any specific, especially for people that are, as I was discussing earlier, senior citizens, is there any places they can go to if they have money left on their own card and they want to put it on their Omni card? Because I know now you have to do a lot of things online.
Yes. So if you have a reduced fare Omni card or you have an old Metro card and you want to transfer funds to a new Omni card, you can visit one of our customer service centers in the Bronx or across New York City. They're open 24/7. You could switch funds. Also, you could go, if you're a reduced fare customer, you can go to one of our mobile sales vans where they can also switch over your money from the reduced fare Metro card to the reduced fare Omni card.
And the mobile vehicles that do with the switching, are they designated or are they all around community board aid? Are there specific sites?
There are specific sites, and I could share that link with you.
Sure.
Yes, I'll add that to the chat if I can before I go.
There is no chat.
There is no chat.
Oh, so I will send it to you guys via
Email the office.
email. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, just send it to the board office and
Okay.
they'll make sure everyone gets it.
Will
And-
do.
And can I say something?
Yes.
I would strongly recommend to everybody that you set up an Omni account. Because if you set up the Omni account, you can set up automatic replenishment so that you never get into a situation where, you know, you tap it and you're out of money. And it works. And believe me, I am one of the least technologically capable people on planet Earth. And I have done this. It's really, I have to give credit to the MTA. They've set it up in a way that it's very simple, and it's the way to go. You know, once your balance gets below a certain point, you automatically replenish the amount on your Omni card. And as I said, you'll never have to worry about tapping and you don't have the money, and now what are you going to do? So a strong recommendation. Forget the Metro card. I love the token back in
Oh
the
my.
day. But, you know, but I have to say the Omni card works. Do it.
Okay. You're one of our greatest spokesmen. You should. Do you work for the MTA?
No, but I'm available.
Oh, I have one question. Do you know whether the Westchester buses will be converting over to the Omni card?
Yes, they will be in January.
January.
Okay. So people won't have to use both methods.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. Because we're right on the border. Riverdale is right on the border of Yonkers.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, all right. Thank you. Any other questions? Anybody online? No. Okay, thank you, Mr. Flynn. I'll see you on Monday.
Yes. Thank you. See you on Monday. Have a great
Thank
evening.
you. You do the same.
Okay, Bob,
Uh,
the next.
Deb, let me make a suggestion. Why don't we switch 6 and 7 and do, because the speed limiter bill is going to take some time.
Oh, okay.
And I think the All Town thing can be done
Yes.
pretty quickly.
We're just going to amend the agenda to switch items 6 and 7, just to do the TCL license renewal for Old Town Car Service. We're all in favor of amending the agenda?
Yes.
Yes.
Sylvia, you're open with amending the agenda?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Is there a representative from Old Town
Yes, I'm here.
Car Service?
Yes, my name's Antonio Rodriguez. I'm one of the owners of Old Town Car Service.
Mhm.
Thank you. We have your application here. So you're requesting a renewal?
Yes, we're in the process of renewing our TLC-based license with the Taxi and Limousine Commission. And part of the, one of the procedures and requirements is approval from the community board and the local council member.
I don't believe there's been any issues. Does anybody in the committee know of any issues with All Town Limo Corp?
I do not.
No.
Do not. Sylvia, you know of any issues?
No,
And where's your location of your business?
We're right on 231st Street, right off of Broadway.
It's still at the site of 244 West 231st Street?
No, it's 206 West 231st Street. The 244 was the first location where we started 13 years ago. So.
Okay. Okay, and how's business?
It's okay. It's we're surviving. We've had a few hiccups within the last few years, but we survived. That fire that was there at 231st, where there was about 6-7 stores that were burnt down, and basically, it's like if one more store would have burnt down, our store would have burnt down as well. We only ended up with having our store and the basement all totally flooded with water from the fire department. So, but other than that, everything's working good. We've been doing a lot of in addition to being a community base, we provide essential services for New York State Medicaid. So, for instance, we transport patients who, let's say, dialysis, or people who go to chemotherapy, people who need transportation to get to their medical appointments. So that's basically what's been keeping us afloat within the past few years, especially now with all these high volume rideshare companies that have come out. The cash business has decreased a lot. So that's what's keeping us afloat right now.
So you have handicap accessible vehicles?
Well, we have regular cars, and we have 3 vans that are wheelchair accessible. We're planning on getting more. We're going to apply for an ambulette license. So as soon as we get that license, then we're going to buy a few ambulettes as well.
Does anybody on the committee have any questions for Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, I do. Mr. Rodriguez, have you had any problems with either the TLC or the police department?
No, none whatsoever.
Okay.
No, I don't, no questions.
Sylvia, do you have any questions for Mr. Rodriguez?
No, I don't, no.
Okay. There's no questions. I think we're ready for a vote.
I would like to make a motion that we approve pending confirmation that neither the TLC or the precinct have had any problems. It's basically the same thing the Public Safety Committee does when they renew a liquor license. They check with the 50th precinct to make sure there aren't any outstanding problems with the bar or restaurant. So I would make a motion to approve pending confirmation. And I have no reason to doubt Mr. Rodriguez, but I just think it's incumbent on us to do
it's perfect. It's understandable, yes, because usually I have 2 other bases, and usually when we do the renewal, there's someone present from the precinct. So, but there isn't one this evening, so there's no problem at all. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's easy, and it doesn't take long.
It won't take long.
The 50th and the TLC.
TLC.
Right. Okay. All right. So now we have a
motion.
we have a motion. Right. Yeah. Okay.
Any
I
other?
made the motion. Somebody else has to
Second. I second
Okay.
the motion.
All right.
What do I say?
No, I second the
Okay,
motion.
you said
Okay.
it.
So we're ready for a vote. That we accept the renewal of
Mhm.
all town car service pending confirmation of the 50th precinct and TLC.
That there are no
That
outstanding problems.
there's no outstanding issues.
Right. Exactly.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for your
Now,
time.
we need everyone to
To vote.
vote, please.
Yeah.
Everybody for the vote?
In favor?
In favor?
Mhm.
Excellent. So we're all in favor. And once we have done our diligence with checking with the 50th precinct and TLC, we'll present this to the next board meeting, and then they'll have a vote on that.
Do you have any idea when the next meeting is going to be?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I will have Farah email you the date. The next
Well,
full board meeting, the next full board meeting.
the next board meeting would be the second Tuesday in January, which is, I don't have a calendar in front of me. It's the second Tuesday in January. Is that a problem for you?
No, that would be actually good because when the license expires on 31st.
January 31st.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right,
The
fine,
second Tuesday in January is the 13th.
It's the 13th.
Yes.
okay.
Okay, excellent.
I
Okay.
have time to reach out. Okay, thank you so much, Mr.
Okay.
Rodriguez.
Thank you,
Have a
everyone.
good
Have a
evening.
good evening.
Okay, you too.
Take care.
Alrighty, let's go to speed limiter bill.
Okay. So, I have prepared a resolution and, Deborah and Debbie. Sylvia, I apologize. I've just given a draft resolution to Deborah and Debbie, and I forgot that you're on Zoom. So I don't have it for you. I can send it to you in the morning.
Okay,
Yeah, but I'm sorry, I didn't think of that. We'll discuss it, and of course, you can be part of the discussion, but I'll send you the draft resolution tomorrow morning, and, maybe we'll make changes to it tonight. I don't know. Okay?
mm-hmm,
All right. So again, my apologies. All right, so what I'm proposing is that we support a bill that is in the legislature in Albany. It has already been passed by the state Senate, and it is now up for discussion by the state assembly. And the legislature will meet again starting in January. And it's something called the Stop Super Speeders Act. And what this would do is it would require people who are repeat offenders on speeding or running red lights or speeding in school zones to install an intelligent speed assistant, which is a device that limits the driver from driving more than 5 miles per hour over the speed limit, the posted speed limit. There are some very limited exceptions. You are allowed to accelerate rapidly for a brief period of time. For instance, if you're entering a highway, where suddenly you have to get up to highway speeds from street speeds, you can do that. The device does not prevent you from doing that. It does give you the option of a very limited number of what are called overrides. Let's say you've got to take somebody to the emergency room on, serious basis, a possible life or death situation. You can disable the device, but you're given a very limited number of options to do that. This is for people who are repeat offenders, and there are a surprising number of them. The bill was passed in the state Senate in this past legislative session by a vote of 44 in favor, 15 against, so basically 3-1 majority. Our two state senators, Senator Jackson and Senator Rivera, both voted in favor of it. So it's now in the assembly, and one of the assembly members who represents a part of this district, who is Assembly Member Alvarez, is a co-sponsor of the bill. What we want to do is bring our other assembly representatives on board in favor of this. So it was given significant impetus by a horrific tragedy that took place last spring. It got an enormous amount of attention. A woman, a mother who was crossing a street in Brooklyn with her 3 children. They were all struck by a car driven by somebody who was driving 68 miles per hour in a 25 mile per hour zone. The mother and the 2 older siblings were killed. The third child underwent repeated surgeries, brain fractured skull, internal injuries, and so on, and survived. But that child has lost his mother and his two older siblings. That driver had over $12,000 in outstanding fines. She was driving with a suspended license, and you can have your license suspended. That doesn't stop you from driving.
No.
It has, and there are so many people driving with suspended licenses that the police department actually has a category called aggravated unlicensed driving. And that's for people who are pulled over and it turns out their license is suspended. I mean, there are hundreds of people on the road at any particular time driving with a suspended license. So, suspending your license doesn't do a damn thing to stop you if you're determined to do that sort of thing. So what this bill does is for people who meet a certain threshold, and I'll describe what that is, they have to install on their car an intelligent speed assistant. And what this device does is it disables the car from driving more than 5 miles per hour over the posted speed limit. It uses GPS technology. I mean, if you look on your screen very often now, you'll see what the speed limit is, It will allow you to drive up to 5 miles per hour over the speed limit, but not beyond that. In the Senate version, which is not identical to the Assembly version, but that they will have to be reconciled if it's approved in the Assembly. If the Assembly approves a slightly different version from the Senate, they have to confer and come up with a common bill. Drivers with more than 11 points on their licenses within 18 months or 16 speed camera and/or red light tickets within 12 months will be required to install this technology. It's an invasive technology. There's no question about that. It has to be installed in your car. There is already an invasive technology that is required by law. If you are convicted of DWI, driving while intoxicated, you have to install a device on your car that is essentially a breathalyzer. If the device detects that the person behind the wheel has alcohol on their breath, the ignition won't start. So yes, it's a serious incursion in a sense on your privacy, if you want to look at it that way. But we've done that before, and in fact, for 3 years in New York City, there was a law that said if you had a comparable number of speeding violations, red light violations, or so on, your car could be booted, or it could actually be taken from you and impounded for a period of time. That law was in effect for 3 years, from 2020 to 2023, and then it was allowed to lapse. An important thing to remember here, well, an important thing to know here, is that this technology is not brand new. It's not untested. It has been used. New York City did government did a pilot project installing these devices on municipal cars between, I believe it was 2020 and 2022. I may have the date slightly off, but it was that approximately that period of time, might have been a year or two later, and found that speeding was reduced by 64%. The devices were considered to be a tremendous success. And as of now, there is a plan to install these speed limiting devices on all non-emergency New York City vehicles in 2026. That's how successful the pilot project was. Now, whether the new mayor goes ahead with that or not, we'll find out. But that's the plan at the present time. The number of people who violate the law, who speed, is simply astonishing. Is that I mentioned this particular case of this woman who killed a mother and 2 children. She had 100 violations over a period of a year and a half, $12,000 in fines. She pleaded guilty to manslaughter and was sentenced to 3 to 9 years in prison. But the goal here is to prevent a situation like that from ever happening in the first place. It's no consolation to anybody that this woman's going to be in prison. Doesn't bring anybody back, doesn't bring the mother and the children back. I brought this up because I know over the last couple of years, Public Safety Committee's been very diligent about bicycle issues, which concern people. There are over 100 pedestrian deaths every year in New York City that are the result of pedestrians being struck and killed by drivers. 98% of the pedestrian deaths in New York City happen because pedestrians are killed by motorists. So this is a serious problem. I'm glad to see that the legislature has addressed it. As I said, the state Senate has already passed this bill. It's now going to be under discussion in the Assembly in this coming session. So I would like to see the TNT committee vote in favor of installing this intelligent speed assistant device on cars. In other words, to do what the state Senate has done and to urge our Assembly members to vote in favor of this bill when the Assembly reconvenes in January. And I'll be glad to take questions and answer them if I can.
I have a question.
Sure.
People who are non-compliant, people who don't follow the law, people who don't follow the rules,
Mhm.
what stops them from using somebody else's vehicle? Because I personally think if the person's living in a house, I mean, what I would like to see in legislation,
Mhm.
I think this is only the tip of the iceberg. But if they're living in a household where there's any car at all,
Mhm.
all the cars in the household should have a device on it.
Mhm.
I mean, that's how serious I feel about safety and how people's lives are impacted and or never the same as a result of a physical injury.
Mhm.
I've seen the other side of what people have to go through in terms of rehab.
Mhm.
I would like to see something that would include that if the person is in a household where there's a car, the device is on all the vehicles in the where the person lives, because the person has the accessibility to still have access to a car.
Mhm.
That's my personal opinion. Am I for this bill? Yes. But I would like something a little more stringent that you can't take your sister's car, you can't take your brother's car, you can't anybody in the household that you're living there that you wouldn't be able to have access to a vehicle. That's my personal opinion, but that's all I have to say. But
No, I hear you, Debbie. I'm not sure that the bill can solve every problem, but it's certainly going to solve many of the problems that we have right now. And I think, if you're going to let somebody else drive your car, I think you would be smart to know what that.
some people don't know they're taking their car.
No, I understand that.
They
Right.
take
Yes.
people,
Mhm. Yeah.
teenagers take people's cars, other people
Mhm.
take people's cars, you leave the key there, and the next thing you know, your
Mhm.
car's not there, and you don't wanna press charges and say, quote, your car is stolen, but
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the people in the household are saying, here, Deb, here are the keys, but
Mhm.
people that are not compliant are gonna do things that may not only gonna compromise themselves, they'll compromise people in their household. That's all.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
a mentality.
I think that the best deterrent to that is whoever owns the car has to pay for the insurance on the car. If somebody else is using your car and is
They take it.
racking up tickets or getting into accidents, your insurance is going to go up as the owner of that car. I mean, that's going to be a giant flashing light. Wait a minute, don't, I've got to make sure this person never drives my car again. But I hear you and I agree. Uh, Nobody has yet figured out, in the legislature has yet figured out a way to address that problem. But I think we're addressing, uh, I don't want to say 90%, but we're certainly addressing the biggest part of the problem of people who are repeat offenders with red lights and speeding.
So
Yeah.
my question, and I am also for the bill, but do you know if they have reached the conclusion of who would be issuing this? The Department of Motor Vehicles, the vehicles insurance company? What's the cost of this? Because
Oh, no,
that
I
also
believe,
be-
yeah, I believe DMV. Okay, I believe DMV is going to be the agency that does this.
Okay,
The cost of the device is approximately $1,000. It's not cheap. But there is a provision in the bill that if you can prove hardship, that you cannot afford to install the device, the DMV will work out some financial arrangement, whether they do it themselves and don't charge you anything, or they prorate it, I don't know.
all right.
But yes, there is a substantial cost, and there is a provision for that situation. I don't know exactly how it works with the DWI device, but I would imagine, that's the precedent, and I would imagine there's whatever they do there is what they will do with this device, right? Yeah.
Right, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, $1,000 is hefty,
Sure.
but to save a life.
Save a life.
That's what we're talking, yeah.
There's no cost
Or
that.
thousands and thousands of medical bills as a
Right.
result.
But let me just give you one statistic here, because I came across this and I couldn't quite believe it. In New York City last year, 2024, the 10 worst offenders had 2,700 school zone speed camera violations. That's 270 per driver. That's what we're talking about. I mean, everybody eventually gets a ticket for, going a little too fast in the school zone, or you think you're going to make the red light and you don't make the red light and the red light camera. Those are not the people who are going to be caught by this bill. It's the people like this
Totally
who
non-compliant.
every working day violate the law. That's what this bill is aimed at.
Yeah.
Sylvia, do you have any questions or?
No, I'm familiar with that terrible accident that happened to that family. And my daughter lives in Brooklyn. And I think it's wonderful that the legislature has taken it up. I think that I agree with Debbie that it might be a stronger kind of legislation, but that's all we have in front of us right now. And I think that I know that I support it.
Yeah, I mean, with regard to the stronger legislation, I have always believed in the principle, never let the perfect be the enemy of the good. So I think let's start off with the good and work towards the perfect.
That's right.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Brett has his hand up. Brett?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. I want to say, first of all, that I do like this bill, and I appreciate what it's trying to do, because traffic safety is generally something that I am very, very passionate about, and also with regards to infrastructure and having safer infrastructure. It does. I'm glad that this bill is only targeting right now people who are repeat offenders. I just hope that it doesn't end up with a speedometer in every single car. Maybe that's just me being paranoid. I wouldn't want to see it in every single car, but in the case with repeat offenders, I think it's a good thing.
Well, it's only going to be in cars of people who violate the threshold here, which, as I said, is 11 points on your license within a year and a half, or 16 speed camera or red light camera tickets within 12 months. That's a lot of speed violations and red light violations. And again, just to be clear, what this device does is it limits you to driving no more than 5 miles an hour over the speed limit. That hardly seems to me like a true hardship, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I'm just always, I like I said, I like this bill, and as somebody who has been hit by cars on multiple occasions, um, you know, this is something I would like to see happen. I'm always a little bit scared of the slippery slope, and I'm always thinking about it. You know, just wanted to share that.
Okay, understood. Well, take care of yourself, okay? Stop getting hit by cars, please.
That's what we
I'll do
try
And
my
to
it's not
best.
your fault. We know that. It's not your fault.
Thank you.
Bob, I do have one question. As far as you
Sure.
know, another question. The sole function of this device will be limited to the speed, right? There's no other kind of
That's right. That's all it
tracking
does.
or
That's all it does.
specific to speed.
Right. And as I said, it does allow you to do brief acceleration beyond what it allows, you know, for instance, to enter a highway. And it does give you a small number of overrides in the case of genuine emergencies. You've got to get somebody to the emergency room right away. I don't know what the number is because it's not specified in the legislation itself. You know, and again, as I said, 5 miles an hour over the speed limit.
Yeah,
How awful is that?
yes.
Yeah,
The main thing is getting the people who need it to actually
yes,
have it installed. You
Yeah.
know, that's where the hard
yeah.
work is gonna be.
Well, I mean, you do have to, you know, if you're required to do this, you do have to submit proof that you have done it.
Yeah.
If you don't submit proof that you have done it, I'm not clear at this point, so I don't want to say on whether that's a misdemeanor or a felony. But it could be, you know, the repercussions could be serious if you don't do it.
Yeah, the sad part about it is that most people who have this type of behavior, they don't really.
Non-compliant.
They're not compliant, so they don't live in the world.
That's right.
You know.
It's like everything else. The good people do it the right way and yeah.
Okay.
All right, so I make a motion that the Traffic and Transportation Committee endorses the Super Speeder Act and urges our assembly members to vote in favor of it.
I second that.
Mhm. Okay, we have to call a vote?
Call the vote.
Go ahead.
All those in favor?
Okay. Unanimous.
Motion passes.
Motion passes.
know,
Thank
I
you.
need Another form. Vote tally sheet. Is there an extra vote tally sheet there? Okay.
I don't see one. All I have is the 2 attendance.
Okay, so I'll
I'm
just
sorry.
like a homemade one.
Yeah. Well, this,
Does that print?
Oh, you know,
no.
Cross it out.
How you go?
No.
let me just do that. Okay, we're just gonna move along on the agenda,
Mm-hmm.
budget priorities.
Mm-hmm.
This month.
It looks like it's on.
Oh, no, that's on. We're not supposed to do anything to that.
You can't use it as a copier?
I don't know. I think we're about to find out.
Oops.
There is a
You might-
cup. I know there's a
Fingerprints
copier
on.
in the next room.
All right.
If you need it, let me know and I'll take it in there and copy
Okay,
it.
'cause I just wanted this copy, so I was supposed to touch that, okay.
Yeah.
And to copy it though, it's made the copy, so you might as well use it
I
now.
know, it's working.
I took the paper off.
I think it scanned it.
Oh, that's
already.
right. It already took the image.
No, I didn't.
No,
Oh,
Cause I was like, oh no, I'm gonna get in trouble.
you're not gonna get in trouble.
if you want to give it to me, I'll take it in the next room. and
Yeah,
copy it.
I guess I did. I just wanted to keep the flow going. Okay, budget priorities.
So this says 2028.
Yeah, working on 2028. Is there anything that's on our
I don't,
other lists that maybe we wanna add for 2028?
Oh,
I
so
can
there's no
tell
printed
you-
paper for 2020.
No, we're gonna write it up.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
And to be honest with you, we received a note from somebody that was concerned about Step Street. Step Street on 238th Street. Maybe we can add. Cause I know there's priorities that we had,
Moved around last.
yeah, with Step Street. Cause I know one of our Step Streets was a. Step Street. Thank you. And we're just gonna. Force this one down. And pull it.
The Summit Place Step Street was done.
Yeah, but there was, I got received some written note about, a Step Street on 238th Street that was in bad shape
Mhm.
and someone nearly fell. So maybe moving that one.
Well, isn't that the one that's number one on the, on our budget priorities for 27? That's the one that connects Waldo to Irvin. I'm sorry, to Irwin, 238th Street. That was already on the list as number one.
Need 2299B. Okay, so let me respond to this.
So are we working off of this page right here, this final capital budget?
Yes, that's the same one I have. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing, I don't know what's fully been approved as of yet. I know that I think it was Margaret Della was working on which things have been approved by district,
Mhm.
you know, in terms of Kingsbridge, Marble Hill, Riverdale,
Oh, yes, she's doing the map that
Map.
shows, yeah,
map.
right.
So I don't know, should we wait for that map or continue on what we have here or just table this?
I mean, you know, it's December, we could table it until January, we're fine on timing,
We're fine.
If you wanna do that.
Table, yeah,
yeah.
because we do have a lot of other written notes from
Mhm.
community people. Sylvia, we're just gonna table,
Yeah, we can.
okay. We're just gonna table that, okay,
Okay.
and go on to new business. So I received a correspondence from constituent and community board aide that's concerned about the harmful impact of bus cameras and double parking enforcement and congestion policies, and how it's affecting working families. The resident actually, you know, wrote a letter to Senator Rivera, Assemblyman Dinowitz, Council Member Dinowitz, and Council Member Sanchez. And it's regarding the bill that they have, enforcement of VAT 111C on bus and camera enforcement and how it's affecting families.
Mhm.
And it's requesting that we have a suspension of this bill, which I agree. Because what it's doing right now, people are trying to basically to be able to actively loading, unloading, school related stops, caregiving, and people are not using basically human judgment, you know, when people just want to just be able to do basic things, and now because of bike lanes, design of different roads, for example, along Bailey Avenue is a
Mhm.
perfect example. That was 2 lanes, now it's a 1 lane, and now people are trying to load and unload, and now if they make a decision now that the BX10, we may put a camera on there, and you're double parking, you'll wind up with a ticket. So there are other parts of the Bronx where this is happening right now, and they have requested that they put a stop to this, a suspension of this bus camera enforcement, and people are looking for support that will support that, not to have this type of enforcement here in Community Board 8. And I'll be honest with you, I think in certain areas it's difficult to move around. And we're trying to share the road, we're trying to be good neighbors,
Mhm.
but in the same token, I think being punitive is
Mhm.
is not gonna help working families just trying to do basic things like unloading and your children or groceries, and you're
Mhm.
in a situation now that you're gonna get a ticket.
Mhm.
I don't know what the answer is. When we presented to DOT our concerns about limiting the roadway and making things double, 1 lane, this is what's gonna happen.
Mhm. I wonder if there isn't some way in which, on the one hand, I'm totally sympathetic to somebody who just has to unload groceries or drop somebody off at school or pick somebody up from school.
Or accessory.
Or right, etc., or an elderly person who's slowly making their way out to the car and can't, and it has to be at the curbside, etc. There ought to be a way to allow for that, but at the same time, um, it can be abused, if somebody just decides to park there. I think the technique that was used was that if the trunk was open, there was no fine because presumably people were unloading from the car. And then it turned out that people would park there all day with the trunk open. So it can be abused. Could there be a way in which, for instance, a bus goes down the bus lane, there's a car there and there's some activity taking place. But if a second bus goes down, and there would have to be a period of time that passes, 10 minutes, whatever it might be, 15, whatever the regular schedule is, and the car is still there, then the car gets ticketed. But if, the first time, if it's just reported the car is there, there's no ticket. But if that same car is in the same location when the second bus goes down, then the ticket is activated. Now, I don't know if that's practical.
Right.
It just strikes me as maybe that's a possible way to a solution.
I don't know, but right now it's like the bus is taking a picture.
No, I understand.
Right, and the problem is you have to, if you are the recipient of the ticket, you have to fight the ticket. So
Mhm.
now it takes time, whether you do it online, whether you write it in, phone it in, or whatever. And sometimes people don't literally have the time, so then they either pay it or start accruing all of these
Mhm.
outstanding
Yeah.
tickets, and to rely on a second bus. I'm not saying that that's, every suggestion should be in the pot, but to
Mhm.
rely on a second bus to see if that'll give you like the window that you violated. I don't trust technology that way, and I definitely don't trust MTA in that manner, or
Mhm.
whoever oversees issuing the tickets.
Yeah, it's gonna be,
That's gonna be a nightmare because, once you receive the ticket, you already have stress because you're mad, you received the ticket in the mail, you forgot about it. Sometimes you don't even know that you did it. You have to go back and say, when did that? What? Did what?
Well, what I'm saying is you wouldn't get a ticket unless there was the second bus that, with a period of at least 10 minutes, found the same car in the same location. And, you're going to have, the location's going to be, is going to be identified on both tickets. I'm sorry, on both buses. So, but as I say, on the one hand, yes, absolutely, I understand unloading groceries, picking up children, dropping off children, elderly people, but that's not a process that can go on, for an hour or more. Should be a short-term process.
And a bus is trying to get from point A to point B.
Yeah, I mean, they did this because it affects the amount of time it takes the bus to run its route. So, I mean, it seems to me that might be a starting point for a discussion about how can we do this in a way that's both fair to the residents and also fair to the bus riding public.
Yeah, and I think also like there are certain neighborhoods that do have deliveries. And if they're stuck in traffic and supposedly there's like a window from 7 to 10, but if you're stuck in traffic and your delivery, you can't arrive until post that window, then, like you have no choice. You can't stop in the middle of the street to unload.
Right.
Not just human, I mean,
Right.
Even products.
No, it's
It's a mess.
dangerous. I mean, it's dangerous.
Yeah, it's a mess. I think,
Yeah.
me personally, I know traffic is an issue here in New York City, but I just feel like sometimes it's just like a money grab for the city in any way that they can.
Mhm.
They try to just tax the people.
So what's our position, if none, on the cameras with the buses? I mean, I personally think that we pushed people into this.
Excuse me,
Yes.
did you say that you are making Bailey Avenue, they took a lane away. I voted against it because all of the buildings are on the east side of the street. Therefore, those people who have an emergency or they have to drop off an elderly person or pick up a child or whatever, there is no leeway for them to be on either side because the other one on the west side of the street became a bike lane. So now to put up a camera and penalize the people because they're taking the liberty of using the east side of the street for those situations is not fair. So I really think we have to be very careful as to where we ban the cameras and give
Well,
out
the
tickets.
buses,
All equipped with
the buses have the cameras on them. There are buses that physically have a camera.
Mhm.
It's the buses.
The buses are equipped with
The
cameras
buses
now
are equipped with
that
cameras.
take photos of the.
Right, well, I don't even know if there's a bus on Bailey Avenue, but
It's the BX.
I think that that's something that we should be very considerate about because the residents in those buildings are at a disadvantage. They have no place to go.
Mhm. Well, that's
So,
what we're saying, Sylvia, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're saying. We understand that situation, Sylvia, where somebody needs to unload groceries or they need to drop off or pick up young children or elderly
Right.
people, with limited mobility. And what we're suggesting is that you should have a certain limited period of time when you can park at the curb, even if it's a bus lane, to do these things, but you can't be there for an indefinite period of time. So what we're saying is, yes, we understand the situation. There should be some allowance for this to take place, but obviously that allowance has to have some kind of time limit. Otherwise, the bus lane turns into a parking lane.
no, I agree. I agree.
Okay.
So we don't have a solution, but I'm personally, I'm against the bus cameras and making hardships even harder for people. If you take out a lane, you make it impossible to do basic things like pick things up, drop things off.
Yeah, and then there's some places, some areas that are a combination of commercial and residential, and then you know, we've been in the car, you have to make a right, some places you have to kind of like tap into that bus lane.
Mhm.
And we got a ticket, we were just making a right turn. It's just, so I don't know, it should be paused and maybe revisited since they have had a couple of I don't know, maybe they have a year's worth of studies that they could go back and see what have the complaints been, how can they, do a better job. Maybe they can have a secondary backup. I know we're not the only people talking about discussing it and trying to come up with, some kind of sweet spot. But so
Well-
pausing it would be ideal. Pausing the camera ticketing function.
I think they should pause it. And come up with another,
Revisit it and check out the studies and how much money have they made? I would like to know.
Well, I would be opposed to just eliminating the cameras. I don't think that's the solution. But I do think we need to find some middle ground here, where, people can park for a very limited period of time, but they cannot park indefinitely in the bus lane. And, it shouldn't be a matter of a bus taking a picture at one particular moment in time and saying, gotcha. There should be, I think, some reasonable period of time, and exactly what that is, I don't know. We have to discuss that. Where, okay, the first bus has taken a picture, but unless the second bus takes a picture that matches the first bus, then you get the ticket. But not until it's been confirmed and not until some period of time has passed, whatever that might be. I think, I think at least, I don't know if that's the solution, but I think it opens a path to the solution.
correct. I don't know exactly how the bill is written, so I'm willing to research it and bring it back to committee, and we can make some other educated.
I got you. Do you even know for a fact that it is a bill, or was it just
They're using it, they're doing it.
No, I know, I understand they're doing it, but an agency can decide to do something. They don't necessarily have to have a bill that passes the city council or somewhere else. There may have been, I don't know. But agencies, can make operational decisions all the time without having to go before the city council or the assembly or anyone to get a bill passed. So, I don't know. But whatever the process was that has happened, and
now
what
we're
we're
trying-
saying,
we're
yeah, we're
trying to
trying to
stop it.
modify it. Yeah.
Well, we're trying to stop it for now.
Well, we're trying to stop it as it's enacted right now. Yeah.
Correct.
And change it. Yes.
Yeah, so I think and I would be interested in finding out when did it go into effect, like the start date of it across the board. But
Yeah.
then if we
And
don't,
how's that gonna affect our district?
Yeah.
Because right now, we're not impacted now, but the other side of the Bronx, they're using this.
Oh, no, they have started on several of the bus routes in our area. The BX9 has just gone into effect recently. I'm not sure what else, but it's easy enough to find out that information.
Sure.
But it is definitely affecting our area, the Riverdale Kingsbridge area. Yeah.
But I think just snapping photos it's not fair. Okay, so let me see if there's data. And confirm this 111C. Okay, and the next. Item, Joan. I don't see the photos. Attach the West 238th Street from Waldo Avenue to Irwin Step Street, which we already have.
Right.
To, raise a concern that it's unsafe for pedestrians, the cement is crumbling, but we have that already on.
That's right.
So
On the capital budget priorities.
Capital budget priority.
Yep.
For 2027. Yes.
Yeah, which begins July 1st, 2026.
27.
No, 2026.
2026.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's when the 2027 budget begins.
So we'll thank her and let her know that that's on our list, that's on our
Right.
radar.
That's right.
Just, she should be happy.
Well, first we gotta
Yeah,
make
first we
sure
have to-
it's be approved,
Exactly.
right? And let's see, we received another correspondence. DOT. On the Broadway Bridge questions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the DOT said. Okay, one of the questions was there's poor lighting on the 9th Avenue towards Broadway Bridge and 225th Street and on the 225th side. On the
Mm-hmm.
Bronx side. And the response is they're gonna look into it. The next question was there's no painted crosswalk for pedestrians. And that they're squirrely. And they're gonna look into that also. The timeline for the project is essentially summer of 2029. And they said they will address any safety concerns as they come along. The other question that was expressed was regarding it not being ADA compliant, and they said contractors are required to make the best effort, but they're not required to really follow ADA standards.
Hmm.
It's different. Well, that's
Okay.
because they're trying to correct things as they go along. The public expressed that there are shifting lanes of traffic with no signage. And their response is the resident engineer is responsible to make sure that the signage plan matches the MPT, maintenance and protection of safety. They'll further look at the signage and markings if are they in compliance. So that's
Okay.
what's their
So basically,
answers.
their answer is that they've got all their questions and now they're going to look into it.
Yeah, so their answer
Okay.
is there's really no specific answer.
Mhm.
They just responded to acknowledge that they received it.
Correct. And just with DOT with some of the pothole issues, they really want pictures of the specific potholes on 261st Street. They don't know of any they don't have anything from the neighborhood reflecting any issues with the potholes on 261st Street and also on Broadway. So I'll just go by and we will take pictures.
I was going to say, I can easily walk from my house to 261st
I
Street.
live so close to it.
Oh, that's right.
261st and
You're
what?
even closer.
Yeah, 261st and what? What's the road?
Walk down 261st to Palisade.
Oh, from
Okay.
up the hill? No, I'm.
So
on
it's from
South
Mount
Road.
St. Vincent
Vincent.
down
Oh,
toward,
yeah.
yeah,
Side.
Yeah.
toward the Hebrew home.
Yes,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, I can do that.
You'll do that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
because they
Yeah.
said they said there's no potholes.
Yeah.
Or they don't know of any potholes.
I'll do that and, I'll look and anything I see, I'll send
Take
you
the
the
photos.
pictures.
You might, you probably see more.
Well,
Hopefully.
You never
not.
know what you'll see.
Exactly.
Yeah. Uh,
And let's see. And then there was a safety issue that I guess I could just pass this along. On 231st Street, this is very interesting. The gate as you
Mhm.
drive through was
Yeah.
like flipping open and
Mhm. Yeah,
so I took a picture of the actual gate and also a picture of the signage of where it is closer to 261st. And they said they'll get back to me. But
And
it's a
already
danger,
narrow.
it's a danger for pedestrians.
It's busy over
It's
there.
actually is a danger for cars, it's a
Mhm.
danger for everybody.
yeah,
Cause the actual gate itself, it's not even secured, it was literally like blowing around.
mhm, yeah.
And that's heavy traffic of all sorts.
Yeah,
Oh, that's-
Foot traffic.
underneath the L.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's really it's both the center really of the community board and also the center of the traffic. in the community board. I mean, 231st is so busy and Broadway is so busy.
So this poor car was trying to make the turn. And the
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Billy, you were on the walkthrough down there, weren't you?
Yeah,
Oh, we did.
I.
Oh, you were?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
It
You
was
were in a
next-
different group than I was in.
Yeah, we
but-
went towards 225th Street and it was a nightmare walking. It was a nightmare over there, but
Yeah.
also the time of the day, I had to take that into consideration, because I was like, well, where are the crossing guards? It just needs so much attention, because it's like left, right, north, east, west. It's just,
Mhm, yeah,
it's just a lot to take in.
yeah. It is.
It's busy.
Yeah, and then you have the problem with the merchants who, anybody along there who did a takeout business, their business was just disastrous because there's no place to park because
Right.
so much was closed off.
Yeah.
You know, you couldn't even just pull up in front of the store, run in, get your food, pay for it, and run
Well,
back
no,
out to your
I
car.
have a colleague that owns one of the t-shirt making businesses, and he said, I really don't think I'm gonna be here.
Yeah. No, we heard that too. People,
I'm not
the
gonna be here,
business is down so much.
And I'm afraid that we're in such a grind between DOT, DDC, that we're destroying neighborhoods one block at a time with all these different construction projects
Yeah.
and people not hearing each other and what their needs are.
Mhm.
And when we took the walk, we had someone from the Department of Health. So, he was
Mhm.
going in, he was talking to the restaurant owners or whoever was on the premise, and I'm like, like, I understand they should have an A or it should be a B or whatever it is, it should be signage. But I bet you that is such a secondary thing for
Problem.
them right now.
It's
Because the
people
stores
getting
are
to the stores.
empty.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
But it is, health and hygiene, we wanna make sure that they following the rules of the business, but
Mhm.
yeah, it's
But if you
really
don't have
bad.
people don't have a place to park, people can't get into it,
Mhm.
there's gates all over the place.
Yeah.
It's-
And it doesn't look welcoming either, even if you on foot, you're trying to just get wherever
No,
you're going.
absolutely. You look like you're in a construction area, which basically you are. Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's rough.
it's rough.
Mm.
So that's new business. So I'll follow through on the bus cameras,
Mhm.
and then we can make a decision where we want to go with that. And that's it.
And ask Farah to check on All Town, the taxi
53.
company, the limousine, to
Mhm.
check with the 50th precinct and the TLC
Yeah.
as well, to make sure there are no
Email,
violations or problems. Yeah,
an emailer.
yeah.
And also just let me know if he moves the time from 11 for Monday to, and if we change Mr. Flynn, if he
Okay.
moves it to, I'm sure you'll send an email.
Will do.
Yeah, let me know too, because I live pretty close and I don't know, from one day to the next, I don't know what I've got planned. I don't know whether my Monday morning is open or not, but it might be. So
But that was a
Yeah, I definitely have to be there, because I remember putting in a complaint before this even
Mhm.
started, before I even joined the community board. So it's been high on my radar.
okay.
Sylvia, do you have anything you want to add?
No,
You sure?
I'm in good shape.
Okay, all right.
Good.
It's great seeing you.
Yeah, nice to see you,
Thank
Sylvia.
Thank you for your
Yeah.
contribution.
Okay.
Happy holidays.
Happy holiday to all of you.
Okay,
All
so
right,
a
Okay.
motion to adjourn?
second.
So adjourn.
Adjourn. Thank you. Everybody have a happy new year and a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and just happy holidays.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you for serving.
Thank you.
All right.
It's adjourned. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night, Sylvia.
Good night.
Hey, where do I stop
So
recording?
there's a stop recording button.
I know.
Deborah, right on the.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Okay.
I guess you want to.
Yeah.
That's probably
That
stop.
one,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's it.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, and then we end.